Welcome to Modern Homestead Alaska. I am Jessica and I am so excited to share this garden project with you today. Let's talk about it. If you are new around here, we've been taking the month to introduce ourselves, and I would first like to say thank you to the viewers that show up time and time again. Your support is so valuable. If this is your first time watching, we are a family on a working modern homestead in South Central Alaska that we are building from the ground up. We share the building projects as well as all of our gardening and different things that we do outside, the animals, the husbandry, as well as hunting and fishing and everything that goes into this Alaska adventure that we call our life. I hope you choose to join us further. In today's video, this is our first sponsorship, and we would like to thank Landguard for sponsoring today's video. They were so fantastic and sent me my very first raised garden beds here on the homestead, and today we are going to build them from the ground up, and we are going to fill them and plant them out with beautiful plants that will come back year after year. I'm going to go ahead and start unboxing these. These are going to be 2 raised bed planters with an archway in between by a company called Landguard. Landguard was kind enough to send me these planters. I got to choose what planter I wanted, and they sent me the one of my choice. And I have a very special reason why I actually wanted this. But I do want to talk about for just a second, those of you that follow us know we have a heck of a time getting things here to Alaska. And if you remember the greenhouses that we had to have shipped to somebody else in order to get them, not only that, it took months for them to get shipped here. And to top all of that off, besides it taking months, they came so damaged in the box. We were missing parts and pieces. Landguard sent me these beautiful garden beds in perfect boxes. So the shipping was quick and it came to Alaska. And I cannot tell you how hard it is for us to find stuff that will actually ship here to Alaska. It's partially built, so it's gonna be super simple to put together. I have the different parts and pieces, the small set of pieces that I'm going to have to put together, and simple instructions to follow. I'm gonna get all of this laid out, and then you and I are gonna build a beautiful garden bed. That's what it's gonna be. Look at that. If you hear a tractor going on and off while I'm recording, my 18-year-old son, Wyatt, is doing some landscaping. Now, he's not a landscaper, he's an excavator. Sorry, I misspoke there. And Wyatt this morning got up, he's doing a job tonight, and he offered to help me. So he took the tractor out, and he is getting the area that these planters are gonna go all set up for me. So this is one of the 2 raised beds, and the size is going to be 7.5 by 3 feet by 2 feet, and then it just has a simple list of the different things that are going to hold it together, the instructions, and it's going to be really easy. We'll put one together and then I'll show you how simple it is. So let me put my razor. So here's the pieces. And then these are the edges, and then here's the flat pieces, and look at how beautifully it's packaged. Look at that, perfect shape. No scratches, no dents. So the first thing I'm going to piece together is I have these 4 rods. They go in the center to give strength to the structure so it's not bowing out in the center. And so we just take one of those little screw pieces and that goes in, and then it's 2 across. There we go. So there we have it. So I'm going to start with 2 of the curved pieces, and what it simply is this screw or bolt, whatever, and then a square washer. I'm going to just get some of these on here finger tight. Oop. Finger tight if I can. There we go. Easy peasy. I'm going to get these in finger tight and then tighten it up so that I'm tightening everything at the same time. So just jump right here. As you watch me kind of screw it in, you'll hear this sound. Listen, right there. That's as far as you want to screw it because we don't want to dent the bed. So really simple. Right there. Oh, I forgot. Okay. On this end, the first set of straight, they go together just like the rounds. So the 2 centers are what get the bars. So this end down here gets the bars. And I think by having part of it standing up and the 2 pieces on, that's gonna be the simplest way to do it. If I'm wrong and I find something better on the second one, I'll let you know. I should have read this. Luckily, I got both of the rounds with the 2 straight sides put together, and I only have to redo one of each side because in order to put this arch on there, it comes with these clips, and the clips get bolted in the sides here all the way down, and then the arch, that's how it's secured, is the arch goes into these clips, which is great because I could choose to take that down over winter. I decided to stop for just a second because it only came with 16 clips. And so I'm gonna build this trellis so that I can understand exactly where I wanna put the clips. So one at a time. I decided to go ahead and carry out the 3 pieces. I have the 2 ends built. Each is only missing 1 piece of the metal. And I have the trellis completely built. And then I want to be able to kind of move it around by myself without any help. And I think that's part of the greatness of this project is my age, my health, my physical abilities. I can build this alone. But I honestly think my mom and grandma, she is 88, 87, 88, something like that. I think the 2 of them could build this, just the 2 of them, and kind of scoot it around. And so I really think it's fantastic to be able to build something. I thought I'd tell you any tricks I figured out along the way. These bars are a little bit more cumbersome than what I had imagined. And so what I realized is if I put in the nuts and bolts that are not the bars first, it kind of gets it tied together because it really wants to push out. And so by doing these first, I put on gloves. It does say, you know, to watch out for it. It has sharp edges. It is rolled steel. All right, So it's really wanting to push out. You might be able to see that at the bottom there. So by pulling a little bit of it together and then doing these center bars, it's a little bit more easy. So by gently laying on its side, it made it simpler for me to line that up because my ground is not exactly level out here. And then these are super simple. So this goes through the two pieces of metal and it screws into that piece there. So okay, that's lined up. Then up underneath. And once I get these in, I'm gonna gently roll it back. It's super lightweight. So the last thing to do is take my little 3/8 tool. I put it on, there's an extra one. This piece that's on those two bars, holding it still so that it doesn't unscrew. And tighten each one up. All right, look, we got one whole bed built. We have the arbor built. I'm gonna head in the garage where it's a little easier to build a lot of it on the flat space, and I will be back in just a second. How super duper cute is that? Wyatt helped me build that one. I think we did it in like 15-20 minutes is all. Once I figured out how to build them, I guarantee you could put a whole garden worth together super quickly. We're not gonna snap it together just quite yet. He's gonna do a little bit of dirt work so that they set a little more level, but how cute is that? My amazing husband just got home from work and he did in 5 minutes what took Wyatt and I all day to get done over here. It looks beautiful. We're gonna set the beds in place and then he's gonna do the dirt work around it. But it's fine, it doesn't actually matter. Right there. So they'll flip in when we're set. You want me to pull this back so you can level that out? After Aaron got home and helped me quite a bit with the dirt and everything else, it can use some tidying, some raking. We're gonna do wood chips, so we're gonna, Roberto, our dog, is standing on the path almost that is Carolyn's pathway, and it is all wood chips. It's so beautiful, and it weaves through the woods here to our neighbor's house, and then it's gonna connect with the wood chips right through the pathway and then to our drive lane where she and Denny come to visit Aaron and I. So I think I wanted to sit on it overnight, have a good look at it, and decide if this was the right or best location. And it actually looks pretty fantastic when I come out here this morning. So I am ready to start filling these beds. How we're going to fill the beds is actually quite simple. I am going to start with the boxes that they came in. You might have noticed I have a huge pile of boxes in the garage. I keep those and people bring me them just for gardening projects like this. My favorite weed barrier that actually works really well up here, at least on our homestead, is cardboard. And you can see right here, I'm gonna hang it out around the bed, and then when we wet it down and put like wood chips, it'll keep weeds from growing up this side as well. So here all the way around, we have the first layer of cardboard. I'm gonna go get a whole bunch more because I want at least 2 layers in here. Because of the size of the bed and the permanency of the bed, We really want to give the cardboard at least a year or more before it breaks down and becomes part of the earth, and that should choke out all of the weeds. The next layer we're gonna add in is wood and logs that we cannot use in the fireplace because they're molded and full of like mushrooms and things, and they're already starting to degrade. Now that we have a bunch of wood down here, you could use wood chips and sticks and anything that you want to fill in the bottom. And then I just have some buckets of garden soil that I'm gonna work in. I have a pallet of raised bed mix. It will be great to touch up some of the areas and do the different things. It's a organic, all natural organic raised bed and potting mix is what it says. So I had run out of all of my bags from the garden. That's also a good organic soil from Susitna Organics here in Alaska. I don't really have to have that, but that's something that is important to me, is that whatever we plant in here, I don't want chemicals and those sort of things leaching into the ground. And that was something that these raised beds ensure, this company ensures that it doesn't have any chemicals in it that would leach into the soil, into your food, your vegetables, your herbs, anything that you are growing, and then it won't leach into the ground around it. So that was also a fantastic selling point for these. So something I learned in my garden class is this OMRI for organic use. It's listed. You have to look for that on everything. Fertilizers, the plants. You have to, otherwise it really truly probably isn't organic. I'm continuing to just kind of work all the soil down and around all of that wood. And then I have enough to fill in if we have any settling later. We are ready to plant out, but I have to steal some plants. What we have right here, let me show you the area that I'm in. This is my elderberries. We thought the moose had killed them. They did not. They came back. They grow up under the ground. They're planted 8 feet apart because they will take over this whole space. Last year, I had planted some cold weather flower seeds to just see how they did. Well, there's a bunch of this plant called Sweet William. The Sweet William overwinters really, really well in this area. So we're moving them from here over to the planters. And then what is going to happen is everything in this area will be overwhelmed by the elderberries. And so we're really, truly rescuing them. And I'm rescuing them for the planters because they don't flower on first year stock. So each plant blooms in a multitude of beautiful colors, from these deep, vibrant purples, the whites, the reds. These are on their way out. And then this same plant, it's kind of got some weeds, so we're going to dig it out and kind of go through it. This is all this year's growth down here. And so next year, this will come up. It will shoot off what looks like these little firecrackers, and then they turn into these vibrant little flowers throughout. And then everything back behind it is kind of some wild flowers and weeds and those sort of things. So we're going to come through with our shovel, dig out the Sweet Williams, and get them planted along with some roses. And what I'm going to do before I transplant it, as I have some scissors, I'm going to cut off what already had bloomed this year, because that is totally pointless. I just saved the blooms so that you could see kind of what they were gonna do. And it comes from a little ball. I'm gonna pull all the weeds out of it. It's starting to rain pretty good, but look at the absolute size of this one. It's going to take up this whole third. Then right here we have a climbing rose. Then we have a beautiful yellow rose, and then 2 more Sweet Williams. And what's going to happen, they're going to end up huge like this. I'm just using a handful of the biotone on everything. Just the starter fertilizer. Look at that. That is crazy. And that just means I'm going to deadhead all of this year's flowers so that this plant will focus on just rooting for next year. You know what that is? That's a pin cushion in the middle of it. We're going to leave it.
Good little cherry off of here.
One strawberry.
One strawberry.
I love it. I'm gonna try and get over here out of the wind so that you can actually hear me. I'm gonna go and plant the last of the 2 huge raised beds. My grandma's out here pulling some weeds with me, and it's so windy. So here were my options: rainy and just drizzly and cloudy but calm, or windy and sunny. So we chose windy and sunny. So we're gonna go get that filled, but I'll just throw this on time lapse. We'll finish the last of the bed, because with that pallet of dirt I have to unload out of my truck, I can't drive anywhere, and so all of that has to get done. I sure hope you enjoyed today's video. I think that these turned out absolutely fantastic, and I would like to share a little personal story as to why exactly the planters are put where they are. When you look through them, there goes Roberto, and right past it is a little walkway that I have lovingly referred to as Carolyn's Walkway. When Aaron and I first got here in July of 2021, the house was not nearly as completed as we were being told or it was supposed to be, and it was just not livable, especially with the guys that were coming in and out, dealing with drywall and everything else. So when we showed up with no place to go, we would have camped out on the floor. It would have been fine. Our beautiful neighbors moved us into their dry cabin and their bunkhouse, and the kids and I were able to stay someplace warm and dry, and they didn't know us from Adam. And even though they didn't know us, they trusted us, and they left a week later and left us in their home, and they have been the greatest gift of neighbors. And so when I got this special gift, or the opportunity to have it from day one, my daughter Cody worked with them, and I told Carolyn this is going on Carolyn's Walkway because I just wanted to signify the beauty of the relationship with our neighbors, and to have her something just absolutely fantastic that come this summer when she comes back, that she will have roses cascading over and beautiful flowers to see, because there will never be a fence. As long as that's theirs and this is ours, there will never be a fence there. It will always be an open, welcome relationship where they are welcome anytime. And so we love the walkway. We love that it is built for us to visit them and them to visit us. And I just think it is one of the most fantastic parts about living in Alaska is everyone here truly helps their neighbor out. And I don't know what we would have done without them. So this was special, and probably one of my favorite projects that we've done this summer. So I can't wait to see what it grows into. I'm super excited for all of that. And I thank you for sticking with us today through this video. Once again, thank you to our sponsor, and thank you, the viewer, for tuning in and watching us time and time again. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you ring the bell so you get notifications. Thumbs up and comments do actually help the channel quite a bit, and we do try to get back to as many as we possibly can. With that, I hope that you are blessed. I hope you find something to be grateful for, and I hope to see you in the next video after you go and have a fantastic week. See you soon.